All right, all right. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, this is going to be a collective message. We'll call out zodiacs as we get there. We've got a Five of Swords. It is sideways. Five of Swords talks about conflict, but maybe we've got characters who want conflict resolution, which would be really nice to see. Anytime we got conflict and hostility, and we're taking it down even by one notch, it's better. Yeah. Five of Pentacles says a lot of time's been wasted, a lot of energy's been lost. Hi guys, so great to see everybody. Um, Now it just looks like we got two fives, so we know it's time to change things. This fighting or this hostility is everybody loses, which is always true, right? Conflict around the world, everybody loses. There's just human beings are so good at making conflict, and it never benefits ever. We've got this chariot. It is time to move on with something positive. It's time to heal. It's time to stop creating damage. It's time to get better. And I feel like all parties want this. Whatever this argument is, whatever this hostility has been, it's like I don't want to put my energy into fighting anymore. I want this to be calm. I want this to be. In this case, we have the two dogs here, and it's like there is a sense of, yes, dogs are sentinels, they're our protectors, they're also our friends, they're also a sense of loyalty. So I'm going to say that everybody kind of wants to move on. Everybody wants things to be better in this storyline. Okay, so our lead character now we're going to say is a Queen of Pentacles. At one point, she was very angry. At one point, she herself was part of the hostility. She might have been the one who was wearing, it's kind of a Joan of Arc character, I always think, but she's, wearing her armor out there in a field ready for battle all the time. And instead, she's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the battle anymore. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to be hurt anymore. I don't want to perpetuate that cycle. I want to actually move on to a place where I can heal. So in her own self, I'm going to say that we have this feminine who is more about like what she learned out of, contributing to conflict is I can do more and do better with my energy if I let go of the conflict, if I move on myself into a different energy flow. So good for her for going a new direction. And we got this Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is all about direction. It's all about I got to go a new way. I want to take action. I even think because this can be communication and because this can be taking action, this could all just be mental or this could be her actually going to say something. But I feel like she is giving forgiveness or compassion or understanding to someone that she used to be very angry at. Whether they deserve this compassion from her or not doesn't matter. What she wants is to be done with the fighting, done with the arguing. Maybe she's even considering that the person, we may have a masculine, we may have a fire sign. This is that Nine of Wands, so it's a wounded warrior card. So she may have been, engaged in hostility and battle and pain because she was dealing with somebody who had their own conflicts. And maybe she's saying, you know what, I'm actually like, sorry that we even had all this conflict. I'm sorry if you were already, dealing with your own stuff and then our hostility and our fighting contributed more when you were already maybe wounded from something. Look, again, I'm not saying that she needs to give this pass to somebody. Kalakiwi, you angel. Thank you, love. You are so, so sweet, babe. Thank you for that and so generous. By the way, you guys, just FYI, spoiler alert, I will be going live on Monday. We probably won't do any videos. We'll only be live in both the members corner and on both channels, and we'll do a celebration for Memorial Day. So we'll be doing card pulls, just FYI. I'll make an announcement. I was going to make it first in the members corner because they'll get a separate segment. But on Monday, just know you guys will be doing no zodiacs. We're just going to go live probably for quite a bit of time. So I hope I'll see lots of you there. But this feels like she just wants to go ahead and if she's caused him any grief or pain for her own sake, she's like, I'm sorry if you were already a hot mess and then we met each other and then maybe we stirred up the pot a little bit more. I don't even know if she's saying I'm sorry. It's more just like, I hope you move on from any pain that you were caused, because Lord knows I was caused a lot of pain. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is here. It's just time to move beyond the grief. It's time to move beyond the hurt and the pain. It's time to let all kinds of stuff go that is just unnecessary. It's no good. We got the Star card upright. Heal. Can we please just now heal? I wish you healing. If I hurt you, I'm I'm moving on as well. So I have to say, from this perspective, this simply says a possibly a feminine earth sign. She doesn't have to be. She's just very grounded right now. Doesn't matter what her zodiac really is, but she comes across as somebody very grounded at the moment. So maybe she's got strong Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Maybe it's like in a more like a moon sign energy, because it's like this is her deep emotional state. It's like, I'm feeling really grounded right now. And I'm feeling like emotionally I want to move on. We have Cancer. I'm feeling like I want to heal. This is the Aquarius, kind of like looking with our thoughts more to the future. We also have a menagerie of some Aquarius, some Scorpio, some Leo, some Taurus blended in on that wheel. I like the fact that we're seeing her make this decision, but now let's ask, is he in the same place? Is this, remember that first card was, I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to hate you anymore. I don't want to be like this. Oh, that song, I just heard this too. But that song, Wuthering Heights by Kate Bush, the chorus on that is so great. That song is in my head right now. You know, Heathcliff, it's me, it's Kathy, I've come home and I'm so cold. Heathcliff, won't you let me in your window? It's like, I'm coming back to fix this because I've been out in the cold and lonely for too long. And of course, that was a very I never really enjoyed Wuthering Heights. I'm not actually somebody who's spent any quality time reading it, digesting it, or anything like that. But, you know, very conflicting love story, lots of drama, lots of, hurt and pain and generational traumas. And so maybe that's why we have a character who wants to put a stop to something like that. Like, this is no good for me, then this is no good for you. And fighting and angry words and carrying, hard-hearted energy, it undermines my own happiness. It makes me perpetually feel out in the cold. And baby, if I did that to you, I'm sorry that I did that to you too. It just feels like this is just the queen's perspective. So she's definitely like, this is no good. I can't do this anymore. I have to change my ways. Okay, what about him? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hang on, we lost one. And I don't know where it went. Am I wrong? Hang on. I guess I'm wrong. There's no card under there. So there's a phantom loss on his side, we'll say. We've got the Magician. It is upright, or excuse me, sideways. I don't know upright from sideways. I need to go read that little book by Grover about near and far again. That little kid's book. We've got, I don't know that he's sharing her energy exactly, but I usually look at sideways cards as either incomplete or shared. So he could be in a place of like trying to manifest something as well. Is he wanting to manifest and take charge of his own actions, behavior, and energy? The Sun. I do think he's very clear visioned that he wants to be happy. Now, he may also be very clear visioned that, he wants to be with somebody who makes him happy, or he wants to make somebody else smile. We got 2 major arcana for him. So this is pretty big stuff that he's going through at the moment. Knight of Swords, 9 of Cups, and the Fool card, the Dreamer. We have a hero on the front of this card, right? We've got a fireman. I mean, talk about heroes, right? Run into burning buildings for a living, right? Amazing people. But with that Knight of Swords, this is like somebody who suddenly wants to rush in and either be a hero. I mean, this is his perspective, but he's aware that who he'd be rushing toward would be somebody who's actually quite good and quite a good energy right now. I don't know that I would say that this is the Queen of Cups. Maybe he's just thinking, you know what? I'm glad she doesn't want to fight with me anymore. Either I don't want that either. I want to be happy. I want to be in a happy connection. I want to race toward somebody who already has like a sense of peace and calm. Somebody who might want to like give the same energy back to me. This Dreamer card, though, I don't know who this is. Let's be more specific and let's change decks for a second. And let's just say, For the masculine, and this doesn't have to be masculine, this could have been a same-sex couple, I don't know. But right now, the reason I say him is because from our queen's perspective, she envisioned this masculine. Okay, so on that wounded warrior card. So we're going to say, how do you, masculine, look at the queen, or what do you think of her right now? I don't know if he's just wanting to manifest better for himself. Oh, Knight of Swords. Okay, so she is the one he'd like to come toward. She is the person that, so he's in the exact same energy. Why would we spend our lives fighting? Why would we spend our lives hating each other when we don't hate each other at all? He's wanting to move directly toward her very swiftly. Let's go back to that sun card for a second. Okay, now that we know that he's talking about her, he's thinking about her. Tell me about the sun. Page of Wands. This is like everything about her is kind of exciting. It almost feels like he's taken on a new perspective of her. Maybe he sees her more as somebody who, I don't know if he's picking up her calm, her sense of happiness, or maybe he's understanding her better after all this fighting and this hostility. Maybe it's like, I've thought so much about her and now I understand her behavior better. I understand her personality better. There is a sense of independence in her, but there is a sense where, I mean, he's always still attracted to her, always has been. She's a bit of a traveler, a bit of an independent streak, and maybe he didn't understand that about her. Maybe she's not the type of person he's met before. She definitely, this is a very like stay wild moonchild kind of vibe coming off of her in his mind. And maybe he just now realizes that she is a bit of an independent spirit. She is somebody, she holds a cat. So we know that there's a streak of independence to her. We've got, camera here. We've got like little travel, like icons. Specifically, I have to say, it feels like she's a Pacific Northwesterner. And I only say that because we got the little bear decal here and then like a lantern. This feels like she's somewhere. I'm from the West Coast, so this is familiar to me. But I don't know if she's specific to that location. Here it's kind of more like Hawaii maybe, but it could be anywhere ocean related, outdoorsy related. It doesn't have to be that she's, somebody who's living, right next to the ocean or anything, but we definitely see that she's kind of like an earthy energy in his mind. And somebody that he understands now, at least, is maybe different than he thought she was. I don't know. Let's go back over here and we need to investigate that Knight of Swords because he has it twice. You want to rush toward her. You have a good opinion of her at this point. Queen of Cups. He's seeing this whole thing differently. Like maybe she wanted to give me love. Maybe she actually wanted to give me kindness. Maybe he wasn't ready to receive it. Maybe he pushed it away. Maybe he's like, oh my God, I get it now. Two of Wands. This is so weird because he's saying she was a Queen of Cups. She was always direct. She was the sun. She is independent, but she loved me. She tried to give me love and then didn't know what to do, how to love me. So he's kind of like taken on a huge amount of responsibility for like maybe the fact that he misinterpreted her energy before, didn't know how to read her before. Tell me about the dreamer. Ace of Cups, Death card, both in the reverse. So for this Fool card, there hasn't been love coming toward him in a long time from her. And yet there's also never been a closed door. So it's almost like in his mind, she's been a little bit off planet or off, like he hasn't tapped into her energy in a long time, which maybe was good. I mean, there was a lot of hostility. There was a lot of like vacant, ice cold, no contact between these two, right? We saw it on her side. And now I would say that that's what he's echoing over here is like, she's been, I don't know if she's moved in a different direction. She hasn't tried to give me love in a long time. She hasn't contacted me. But I also feel like, how could it end this way? Maybe that's why we're seeing him have this sense of urgency. Like, I need to move toward her. Let me ask this. Why are you having this same awakening? Is it tied to the fact that she's like, I'm done fighting. I need to let you go. And I'm sorry if I hurt you energetically. Like sending out the thoughts of like forgive me for any trespasses against you. I don't want this to be the way I carry energy when I think of you. I don't know that she's saying any of that to him. I think this is all like her like state of being, but I'm wondering if her state of being is impacting him. We have Hierophant, we have Two of Cups. Okay, so there is definitely an energetic bond from both like the spiritual realm, the higher realm, their higher selves. Now on his side, he's realizing maybe the fact that she's like I feel like I want to say force fields down. This all feels, again, we got to do some references to some sci-fi films because I'm literally picturing, like Captain Jean-Luc Picard, the hottie. Sorry, he's one of my heartthrobs. Saying, like shields down. She's the one doing that. She's dropping those boundaries, those shields, and maybe that is impacting him where he's able to be like, he's feeling that flood of, wait a second, she got mad or she got angry or she got hurt and she closed off to him. But now that she's saying, I don't even want to send that kind of energy out. I don't want it. It takes too much energy to keep those force fields up. So I just want to heal, and I hope you heal too. It's weird how that is flooding his system with, oh my God, she only ever wanted to love me. Wait a second, I need to move toward her and quickly, because I realize this now. She only ever wanted to try to love me, and maybe I didn't know how to receive that, or something went wrong. Something went horribly awry with the two of them. But he's getting this memo all of a sudden. Here's what I don't get though. If the intentions were pure a long time ago and all she tried to do was love him, I don't even understand why they ever had conflict in the first place, that then made her shut down, that then made him, like unable to access her energy, which then led to this no contact stagnancy. And he's been like, oh, I have no idea what happened or what she ever wanted. And now that she's like, look, I'm not even going to hold on to that anymore. I'm energetically wishing him well. Now he understands. Like, I don't get, why couldn't they just have understood what the bond was right out of the gate? Why they ever have to have problems? Let me just look one more here. Five of Swords. I don't know. Maybe these two just couldn't seem to cross that threshold to understanding. Like maybe vernacular was a problem for them. Okay, so the way they spoke to each other, since this is a Five of Swords and it became problematic almost immediately, them communicating was a big issue. Whatever words they used to speak to each other, they didn't find the right words. It was highly inflammatory. Now that can happen, especially when two people don't know each other very well, but there's a lot of emotion. I could understand how that could have driven this huge wedge, and it could have made it where it's like, wow, what you just said really hurt my feelings, the way you responded to that or didn't respond to that. And that could have just been that they didn't know each other well enough at that point in time. He definitely did not understand her. He didn't understand a sense of like, she's loving, she's patient, she wants to give love, but at the same time, she had an independent streak and she really just wanted to be happy. And maybe she wanted to make him happy too. And he didn't know that at the time. Let me ask this. In the past, at the very beginning, what did you want with her? What were your intentions toward her? The Chariot. He wanted to be with her too. So it really feels like this is one of those situations where they actually both really wanted this emotionally. Then a problem popped up, some kind of communication issue leads to, because they don't have the comfort zone with each other yet, they don't really understand how the other one responds or what the other one was thinking when they said X, Y, or Z. Pretty soon it's just hostility, it's fighting, it's slamming doors, it's no longer communicating. And now that she's held that for, I'm going to say quite a while, and is now saying, I can't do that anymore. That's no good for me. It's no good for my energy. I don't want to hold on to anger. Now the floodgates are opening and he's like having this realization. She never like hated me. In fact, she loved me. She wanted to be with me too. Now all of a sudden, all the feels are here. All the like the good vibes are filling him up with that Hierophant. It's like, it's so clear what was in front of his face before. It's, it obviously makes sense. Whatever their conflict was, whatever the breakdown was, if only like they could have had a comfort zone back in the day to understand each other better, or to finally have it click in the way they communicated, because it's clicking now for him, the Magician. And now upright, it's like, here I go, here I go. I want to go ahead and connect. I want to go ahead and make this happen. Now I want this. Now I'm clear. So he's the one. It's interesting because I feel like this is almost the storyline that we had last night over on Tarot Dog. It was a little bit more abrupt and stuff, but I think it was almost 2 hours long also. But this storyline is certainly echoing parts of that, but in a softer energy, I would say. This feels like our Queen of Pentacles. We got to go back to her for just a second and say she wants to be free of what she felt, the hostile energy that she felt, the sadness that she felt. She's just owning that and letting it go so she can move on and wishing him well energetically as well. She's not thinking about like, oh, I'm sorry if I hurt you. Now, how about you come back to me and we'll get together again? From what I can tell, this is not part of the reason or the motive that she's doing any of this. She seems to just be releasing him because that feels right to her for her own, sense of self at this point. So she too can move on. I feel like it's very sincere though. I think that she's just like, I don't know where his wounds might have been. So if my anger or if how I behaved hurt him, then I do wish him healing. If you love somebody, of course you wish the best for them. If you've ever loved them at all, then you don't wish harm on them. You don't wish, hatred on them. So 3 of Wands upright. Yeah, she's just simply now turning her face to the future. That's it. She's just facing the future. That's the only reason she's doing this is Judgment and the 8 of Pentacles. It is to reconcile with the fact that, I want in my future to move beyond this. She's just kind of like working on herself at this point and wanting to make peace with this final chapter so she can attend to new things, new energies. I definitely say that this is a Queen of Pentacles who's like upgrading herself right now in wisdom, in knowledge, maybe in like understanding like the spiritual consequences of, when we love somebody, then we get upset and we hate them for a while. And then it's like, that's not even, I never really felt that way. What it was is I was hurt, like wrapping our heads around what our emotions are really feeling like, why we feel that way. And then finally being able to say, but really, what do I project toward them? Honestly, I hope I didn't hurt them because it wasn't ever my intention. So I can accept my role in this and I wish them well. And now can I start growing in a new direction? I need to work on some other things in my life. I want to pour my energy into something new. So this is very much like, I want to say that I feel the sense of surrender coming from our Queen of Pentacles. I surrender my anger. I surrender what hurt me. I surrender all of this. I hope that I'm forgiven for, my hard-hearted energy. And I'm looking forward to moving forward. This is very sincere. I think the last thing on her mind is that they somehow would be bouncing back in to this realm. It just feels like we got the World card upright. That World upright this is her starting a new chapter. Strong Capricorn energy coming off of this. Is he about to reach out to her with that Knight of Cups then, or excuse me, Knight of Swords then? We have an Ace of Cups. Yes. This is his whole like heart. This is his whole cup of love. This is his whole energy that is stepping forward to try to like pour himself into this. Maybe this is the first time he will have ever offered his whole cup now that he understands her better. And I have to say, if we go back to that Dreamer card, the Fool, our Aries energy here, she's holding like this cup and kind of looking up at the stars. This is all still, that was on his side where he was like saying, oh my God, I'm having this mental breakthrough. I get who she was now. She was somebody who was trying to be happy. She was somebody who, I don't know where she's at now, but she was taking a leap to give me her heart. He figured out she was the Queen of Cups at one point as well. It's like he missed all the signs and symbols of her trying to give love. I'm hearing that song by Rilo. I got a thing for you. That line that says, I'm just trying to love you. I don't know what the fuck you're used to. I love that song. I think I should let you know I got a thing for you and I can't let go. But it's like a flow of consciousness kind of stream in that storyline, in that song. But there's definitely, it's a complicated relationship where people were together, then they broke up, then, got with other people, but it's like there, that love still exists. That's what the whole song is about. And, reflecting on what went wrong and the fact that even though it all went wrong, there's still this love here. I just feel like with this magician again, so we got Virgo, Gemini, all of this says now he just wants to manifest this. It's like the past doesn't even matter anymore to him either. What matters right now is, oh my God, she loved me. How come I didn't see it before? She's over here saying, I don't know what the hell went wrong, but I can't be angry anymore. I can't be hurt anymore. So I'm thinking that when they had a conflict and problems, the fact that he wanted to move toward her, remember in the beginning, we had that chariot. He was all about like this relationship. Then the two of them had some kind of conflict right there at the door that led to an argument, a fight. She may have been hurt. She may not have felt very loved. Then he thinks, well, she doesn't love me. So now they don't speak anymore. Now she feels out in the cold and hurt. She holds that for a long time. Meanwhile, he's still just like his pride's wounded or his feelings are hurt because she got mad at him, but he's not understood, like, where did our conflict come from? And it's not until she lets go of all of this and says, I just don't want to feel this way anymore. I'm moving forward for the sake of my peace of mind. And I hope that I didn't hurt him when I was angry. All this is great, but the one piece of this that I think we're missing is where'd that conflict come from in the first place? It's awesome to see her trying to move forward, being the best person she can be. It's awesome to see him having this click that, oh my God, she loved me. But I kind of want a little bit more accountability on this, because if this problem isn't resolved, how are they ever going to get back together? And then it's going to be peaches and cream just because now he's like, oh no, but she loves me. And I really want this. We see him magician, right? 3 times, I think. I don't know where the third one is, but I think we saw that in here, right? That says, okay, what is his responsibility in the conflict that arose? Or was it all her fault? I don't know. Let's go ahead. 3 of Swords. His responsibility in this is that he did something that really hurt her heart. Okay, are you aware of that? Do you understand why she was ever upset? Or Ace of Swords in the reverse? No. See, that's what I was worried about. This didn't feel like this is going to be just bubblegums and roses and sunbeams. This feels like we still have to address the core issue. Otherwise, they're going to get back together, and guess what? They're going to go through the same freaking cycle. Knight of Wands. I don't know if this was erroneous or not, but he came across as a player. Let's say inconsistent. Doesn't mean that he was actually out cheating or talking to other people. But if this is what she felt like, and he doesn't know that part, either he's unaware of his own behavior, or this is how he operates and he thinks that's fine, or this is something that, she was completely off base on. But there's the source of all of our problems right there. And he's saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Why she think I was a player? Why she think I betrayed her? Why does she think that? I don't know. Let's see. Ace of Wands, the Lovers. Because this looks, the Lovers is a card of choice. I don't know if this was legit or real, but there was a doubt about where his real attention was. Why are you unaware of this? I'm talking to the masculine when I say that. Why are you seemingly unaware that this was the way she was feeling? Because he's like, I don't know about that. Ace of Swords in the reverse. The Fool. Remember, in his mind, he was all about moving toward her with that chariot. The Fool, but the 3 of Cups. That could have been... Okay, so here's the way I guess I would look at this. I don't know if this was like maybe a relationship that is started on, I'm going to say a dirty surface. And I just mean that where I'm picturing somebody who's making a salad. And we all know if you're going to chop up chicken and cook it first because you want that on top of your salad, fine, go ahead and do that. But you need to wash your cutting board and your knife. Preferably wash it and then go get yourself a different one because I just don't like cross-contamination. So I usually grab a second cutting board altogether and a second knife. Even if I've washed the other two. I know, psycho. That's my Virgo coming through. Because you don't want raw chicken meat on your vegetables that you're not going to chop up. And I feel like the only reason, I don't know why my brain is going to that image, but this says there was some kind of a third party situation where maybe he was like, oh yeah, but I met this queen of pentacles. I just want to be with her. I'm totally like all about her. But if he had unfinished business with a third party in any way, shape, or form, then guess what? You are, in fact, not giving 100%. Because you got two people talking in your ear. You got to still close out a situation before you can fully give to somebody else. This is like if you're taking on a new job and, you're closing out your last 2 weeks with one employer, but then you're onboarding with the other one. Sometimes you can go through like meltdown. Some employers are like, no, you start with us when you're 100% ours because we don't want to invest in your training and you already have to absorb new stuff, but you're exhausted because you just came from your other job. No, we don't want the overlap. We want you to start fresh with us, 100% focused, so we get your A game, and I feel like that's maybe what should have happened. Instead, we started out, we cross-contaminated. Even though he's saying I was 100% all about the Queen of Pentacles, you can't be 100% if you're still dealing with somebody else who has access to you. They're calling you, they're talking in your ear. You got unfinished business with somebody else. You essentially are cheating. Even though you're not, you are. Or like I say, you've cross-contaminated. Look, it's just in this story. I'm not saying that's always how it goes. This is just this fictional story. These are the cards we got. So this is a story that I got to describe, and indeed talk about confusing the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles knew what was going on without knowing. Sideways, she's like, I don't think I want to give to this. Why would I be with somebody who confuses me? I don't know where all of his energy is. I'm thinking he's got another lover. I'm thinking he's pitching me between somebody else, trying to debate between whose lips he likes better. I think he's attracted to somebody else. I think he's giving elsewhere. Well, in this storyline, he straight up was, but in his mind, he's like, what do you mean? I was all about her. But you couldn't have been because you're still dealing with somebody else, confusing the hell out of your Queen of Pentacles, who now wants to retreat, quit giving to you, and now she's getting pissed because she thinks you're messing with her mind. Five of Cups. She's feeling out in the cold. She knows if there's one person you're talking to, how many others are there? Am I just one of your many? You got hoes in different area codes. What's the deal, right? That's the way that came across. Well, of course she's going to be pissed. Anybody would feel disrespected. Also messed with because guess what? You're keeping it secret from me. You're not telling me what's really going on. So screw it. I'm out. We're done. Death card. Pisces, Scorpio. So we got a whole, this is very clear. I can totally understand why she would have been hostile, why she would have been hurt, why she would have pushed them out of her world. She didn't have the information. It wasn't, let me backtrack 1 second more and say, did she make this clear to you that this is what she believed was going on, masculine? Lovers in the reverse. This says not maybe so clearly in so many ways. She, in his mind, she just didn't want me anymore. She didn't want to be my lover. Seven of Cups. Oh my God, are you kidding me? And then he started to wonder, does she have somebody else? Oh my God. Is she unsure about me? She doesn't know if she's interested in me. Nine of Cups in the reverse. I don't make her happy. That's why she doesn't want me. Wait a minute. Did you have another person that you were still dealing with? Ace of Cups. I only love her. Did you have another person that you were dealing with? I know you keep saying it was all about her, but we saw the Three of Cups. The Hermit. The Hermit is actually somebody who's just in silent mode. He retreats and he just does his own thing. Five of Swords in the reverse, Tower upright. Okay, he was definitely going through some massive transformations in his life. I do feel he was in the midst of ending another connection. Somebody else who he was not getting along with, somebody else that there was huge conflict with. He was like, but I'm not dealing with them anymore. But the Tower is here. It might have just been too recent that he had ended something with a previous person. Maybe it wasn't like a third party where he was still, detaching from an ex. Exactly. He may have just detached from an ex, just gone through an upheaval. It takes a while for the dust to settle. So if he was kind of aloof, because as he's trying to build this new relationship, that he's like, oh, I'm all about her, but I'm still not going to give her all of myself, all of my energy, because I'm still actually in hermit mode, but I really want her. You don't, I don't know. It feels like he was earmarking her because he loved that she's given 100% of herself to him. And boy, the second she stops giving 100%, he's like, oh, she doesn't like me. She's mad at me. She's not interested in me. Well, how do you think she felt the whole freaking time? Because although you wanted her emotionally, although you wanted to be with her, you weren't giving her 100% of yourself. This really feels like you can't expect somebody to be all into you and have no other, wounds and things that you're still processing and times that you still want to be alone. You can't expect that of somebody else if you're not in the same spot giving that full 100% of your energy. So I feel like the expectations here have still been a little bit warped, and I still feel like he hasn't identified that bit. You can't just do this. You don't get a right to expect so much from somebody else while you get to give them 70% and leave them kind of questioning, why are you withdrawing from me? Oh, wait, you have somebody else, then that must be it. And then as soon as they assume that and want to withdraw from you, then you're like, well, they don't even like me. They're not giving me 100% anymore. Well, babe, you were never given 100%. You were still in hermit mode while wanting to earmark her and get what you wanted from her when you wanted it, but then still deal with your process, your ending with somebody else. That was too much to do. You can't be processing an ending while you're starting something new with somebody and expect them to be kept in the dark about the fact that you're even going through that, and give them less of yourself and sometimes disappear on them, and then have the audacity to be like, well, I think she doesn't like me. No, she thinks you're cheating. That's what this was. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now he's like, wait a second, she actually really loved me. Are you in a place where you know how to, because it bothers me that it's still like he doesn't understand his behavior and what that was like, and the what was not fair about this. And if you still don't understand how that's not fair, I don't know how you're ever going to have where there's the sensitivity, the equality, the compassion, you have to put yourself in somebody else's shoes to love them, right? Right? I don't know. Noble goddess, thank you so much, love. You were so kind. What is the, okay, so he's like, but we can have the 10 of cups. Now I'm 100% all in. The problem is when I said, do you understand why she was ever mad? He's like, no, I don't get it. And it's like, because she thinks you're a player. She's letting you go while still believing that you cheated on her. The Queen of Pentacles in this story is releasing her hurt, her anger, her upset for herself, not because she's like, oh, you know what? I don't think he cheated. She's like, he might have been a train wreck and maybe he had his own problems and that's why he cheated on me. This is still what she thinks. She's just gracious enough to let you go. You're over here realizing, wait a second, she really loved me. She didn't stop giving to me because she hated me, but you still didn't understand. She assumes you were a cheat, and you still haven't wrapped your head around, at least from what I can tell, you still haven't wrapped your head around why this didn't work. But let's see, maybe I'm wrong about that. Are you going to be able to understand the past and the present and the future that it would require? Well, he's like, well, she's my empress. I know, but you always loved her and you still didn't realize your own behavior. I keep wanting to drive the story to have you understood how that sabotaged the connection. This is not to heap it all on them. Obviously, these two did not communicate effectively. So our Queen of Pentacles knows that and she's taken responsibility. But all this time, it's like he just keeps saying, but I love her. I wanted her. I wanted her. But he didn't really understand. But then you have to give 10,000% of yourself to her if you expect that from her in return. And when there's conflict, you guys got to figure out how to talk. And he's like, no, she's my empress. I want to give her everything. Okay. 10 of Wands, want to lay down obstacles. Okay. 9 of Cups, she's my happiness. Queen of Wands, she's the only one I want. Sexiest, the hottest, the whatever. All this says he's got eyes only for her. Only problem is still, and I'm sorry to keep drilling on this, but if you still don't understand where the problem was and how she felt about things, I don't know how you're going to win her back when she's let you go under that impression that he cheated on me. Are you going to be able to address that? Because when you face her, which we know you're going to, Eight of Swords is here. Here's that stuck energy remains. Even though she let go of the hurt and the pain that she felt, the Queen of Pentacles let go of all that. Oh, that problem sits there like a big old nasty, like lobster cage, that stinks to high heaven with, old seafood in it. You can't get past this. This is unfinished business. We've got that death card here in the reverse. Everything is right where you left it, darling. Everything. The mess, the pain and the hurt, the Queen of Pentacles has let go of. But the actual issue that occurred in the past, none of that has been wiped clean for her. He's coming in fresh as a daisy. She simply let go of it and has maybe some battle scars from what she believed happened. What was real for her was, he's cheating on me. He didn't do anything to tell me he wasn't. This is over, and he never tried to fix it. So I had to eventually just heal myself and let it go. She's a changed person. And this whole mess is exactly where it all still was, because we never had resolution here. Ginger Montague, thank you, love. You are so sweet. Thank you, Angel. You're so generous. We've got the Five of Pentacles. So he's walking in, I want to love her. I realize now she really loved me. But he's walking into a barren field. This is not the same Queen of Pentacles that he remembers. When he comes in, he's going to note that, wow, she's different. She's not giving me the good vibes, the good love. Oh, thank you guys for giving this a thumbs up, by the way, and subscribing. You have no idea how important that is now, more than it's ever been important. With YouTube, it's the most important action anybody could take to help the free content creators. If you do enjoy the free content, that's not just my channel, it's anybody that you watch. But thank you so much for taking that free action to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We really need support right now. But with this Five of Pentacles, it's just so, it's like walking into an empty room. He thinks he's going to walk back and be like, oh my God, I remember you really love me and now I get it. And he's kind of thinking that that's how it's going to be, like, yay, big old smile on her face. Can't wait to see you. Oh my God, here you are. Let me give you, a Moogie Googie kiss. That's not going to be what it is. He's going to walk into a kind of like an ice cold. I'm picturing, if you've ever gone to like rent an apartment or something and it's obviously been empty for quite a while, you know how it feels different. And I'm not just talking that it's cold or a little bit clammy. It feels like there's no energy in it. Kind of feels like there's no life in it. And that can be a good thing or that can be a bad thing. Sometimes it's nice to see, it's like, wow, there's nobody else's energy in this space. This is awesome. I'm moving into this new apartment. I'm going to rent this. And then other times you go, ooh, it's a deterrent. It feels like a place that nobody's been in so long. It feels lonesome in here. It all depends. Or maybe I'm the only person who feels like rooms like that, but I'm very sensitive to that. He's walking into a very, probably that analogy won't make any sense if I'm the only person who feels rooms. I just revealed I'm a weirdo. But that's the best way I could describe that. Her energy is not there. She's not in this lovey-dovey, can't wait to see you. She's let him go. Two of Cups. Well, if his reaction is, oh my God, I've got to warm this place back up, I feel the emptiness here. Maybe it'll hit him and he'll understand all this time she's the vacancy that has been between the two of us and me not like understanding that she had loved me. Maybe it'll be the thing that triggers in his mind and he'll finally understand, somebody that I loved, I haven't talked to in how long. Of course, there's an empty gap. Of course, there's this, I let her, we had a fight and then I never bothered to talk to her because I assumed she didn't want me. And now it turns out I realized she loved me. Now I feel like I abandoned somebody that was nothing but good to me. Maybe this will hit him the way it needs to have another layer of realization that this is the way I treated my own Two of Cups, a person who did nothing but love me, but I didn't see it that way before. That is another layer of comprehension that I guess that on my part, I should have like seen that sooner, that maybe that's a first and most important level of realization before him even like wrapping his head around like, oh my God, I broke her heart. She thought I was cheating, even though I I wasn't, but I just let there be an argument, a fight. We never got to the bottom of anything. She still let me go and had to heal from this, assuming the worst. But none of that was actually the case, even though, well, we've already talked about that whole, like, not really giving 100% of his energy. But maybe this is a better realization for him to come to face her again and realize that there's this real vacant energy that she's been living in regards to him. And now it's like, oh my God, I need to heal this. We've got this world card. This is very much like, if I can do it all over, if we could start a new cycle, it could all be different now. I feel like this is the last second for this to maybe start to get smoothed out, ironed out, worked out. I mean, we've got the, I always call it the egg timer. I'm sorry. It's hourglass. I don't know why hourglass always is second term that I come to for that. It's always egg timer first. This really has been, I think the only reason maybe he can still recoup this relationship or have a chance to recoup it, is because she just released him and she hasn't like met somebody new yet. I think if she'd already met somebody new, this probably would not be a second opportunity. Boy, we're coming in under the wire on this one for sure. Judgment card. And the thing is, I will say this is the reminder that there's a lot more at stake in this. To reconcile with her means to reconcile with the entire family, her friends, her entire, like, if they all know that something went wrong between these two, and then there was silence and they watched her grieve and they watched her, people close to you, even if you don't tell them what's going on, when you're in resting bitch face, and I'm thinking she was for a while. Look, I don't think this Queen of Pentacles was at her best for a while. I think she was bitter. I think she was angry. I think she was hurt. I think she was pissed. She may put on a good facade, but I'm sure people knew that there was something, a little off with her. And if it turns out that it's all tied to him and now he's back, there could be this is a pretty judgy family who's standing here like, what do you mean you're back in the Queen of Pentacles life? You're the one that made her sour for 8 months, whatever it was. You're the one that made her feel that way. So you got to win us over. Whatever happened with the two of you, that's one thing, but we don't like the way we saw her feel. I think that's kind of understandable that, the people close to somebody, you'd have to win the friends back over. You'd be like, so you love her so much, she's your two of cups, but you just left her alone for how long? Now, remember, he was under the impression she didn't like him. But I have to say that, so sorry, but that was pretty selfish to only see it through his own eyes, because remember, in this storyline, he was the one who was going into hermit mode, that Virgo energy of withdrawing, going off on his own, because he had just gone through that tower with somebody else. And so, but he wanted all of the love from her, but then he still felt like he could just withdraw and, clear his mind and his energy whenever he felt like it. That felt like very unfair expectations of what you're allowed to think a lover has to give you, but you don't have to give them in return. And that is still, that's a sore spot with me in this story. You notice I am one of these friends who is standing here going, what do you have to say for that? I'm such a jerk. We have a Queen of Swords. Look, I don't have to be the friend on this character's side who's demanding answers, because I think she herself, this Queen of Pentacles, has become, we said she's probably changed quite a lot. She wants to be, growing in a new direction. But when it comes to the situation with him, remember, conversation was a real sticking point. That's what led to all their problems. The lack of, completed understanding was a part of the problem. But now she's somebody who asks questions, who has different boundaries, who doesn't just start giving to somebody. They're not getting the same warm, fuzzy, lovey-dovey. They would have to probably, this is not like, oh, you need to earn it, you need to, crawl. No. Queen of Swords is always going to be giving everyone their own sense of, respect. She's not, holding. Remember, the whole point is she let them go. She surrendered the fact that she believed she'd been cheated on and hurt. She let go of all of it for her own self and her sake of her, health and wellness and to be able to move on and not carry bitterness. So she's not instantly reverting back to, well, I don't trust you, I'm bitter. No, it's just that he would have to get to know a whole new version of her that's a little bit more cautious, has a few more boundaries in place. She probably would never again even allow herself to become that Queen of Pentacles that was sideways, where she was having to wonder, is there somebody else? I think that they're cheating on me. That she probably would never get herself tangled up and still want to give to somebody that she didn't know if it was safe to give to, because she's in a Queen of Swords energy now, which it would be, she'd probably ask point blank, when you withdraw from me, it feels like you're cheating on me. Is that what's going on? You know, she'd probably be point blank. Maybe as a Queen of Pentacles in the past, she didn't ask the direct question. Queen of Swords now asks that. And it's not confrontational. It's just, it would actually be really nice. It would just be like, you know, it's, is this a monogamous situation or not? Because here's my, the way this comes across. You withdraw from me and it feels like you're with somebody else. Is that somebody else just in your mind? Are you still wounded over somebody? Or are you going to see another person? I'm confused because I can feel your distance, but I don't know what it means. You know, a Queen of Swords would ask that point blank. I don't know that she did as a Queen of Pentacles, because it says she was real confused and maybe didn't even know what she was allowed to ask. Well, frankly, you're allowed to ask anything. If you're giving somebody access to your home, your body, your mind, you set those boundaries. You get to ask whatever you want, whatever makes you comfortable. Nobody has to answer you, but there's not anything that you're not allowed to ask, especially if you're confused. I mean, that's what I would say about that. These two were in a lover's bond, so there's really no question that's off limits, even though you may not get the answers that you want. But instead, there was too much confusion. So maybe part of this was she made assumptions. She didn't ask point blank questions, you know. So sure, we could say some of it was on the Queen of Pentacles side, but you know, everybody's growing, everybody's trying to learn how to handle themselves, right? And she's emerging as a new version of herself. This doesn't mean that she's now some battle axe. This doesn't mean that she isn't soft and loving. It means she now advocates maybe a little bit clearer for herself. Very direct questions. Look, I think she does want to still see what happens with this. We have a lot more conversation to have. I don't know that this is, you know, okay, sure, let's get started again. We're definitely going to be together. All things are healed. We're madly in love. This says we have a lot more to talk about. But maybe this is the beginning of them having genuine ability to have dialogue. So she could have asked better questions, or maybe asked the questions she needed answers to in the past. He needed to understand that he was asking something from her that he was not actually giving. That seems to be what happened. That's where all the meltdown was in the past. This is not to say either one of them was villains or anything like that, but I was just trying to figure out what have they learned now that would make this be possible. Because if it's just going to be more traumatizing for each other, I'm like, whoa, I don't know. Why are they even getting back into this if they haven't dealt with the meltdown? Well, it looks like maybe, at least in this storyline, we've sewn it up in a nice tidy little box. So, and it only took an hour. Oh my God. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I so appreciate you guys. I'm sorry, sometimes these get really, really long. I did not expect that. In fact, I should not have gone so long. But sometimes that happens. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for giving it a thumbs up. Like I said earlier, it is the single most important thing right now. It's what all content creators, if you watch anybody, please, please, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Those are free things to do, but we really need your support right now. Every content creator does, especially more now than ever. So thank you so much. If you enjoy the free content that's provided, it's the only way we can keep doing this is with the support. And so those little free actions, you don't know it, but it makes a tremendous difference in whether or not our videos are ever viewed. So I cannot stress how important that is. So thank you to the 78 of you that gave it a thumbs up. That really means a lot out of the 310. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you everybody for being here. Nikki O, Lolly, Des, Mr. the Observer, Ginger Montague. Thank you again, sweetie. Cosmo Guy, hi. Queen V, wonderful to see you. Thank you, Queen V. Yard sale find. Takoria Burt, hey, hey. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Violet. Thank you, Sabrina. Anisha Chatu, great to catch you. And thank you again, Kali Kiwi. You're so generous, love. Thank you. EM, wonderful to see you, baby. Hey, Moonlight Shadow. Thank you, Ed. Hey, Delana. Caitlin B. I'm delighted. Shout out to you in Hungary. Annie S. Hi, honey. Delinda, wonderful to see you. Prime Creator Father. Hey, hey. Hi, Kins. Timothy Gorman, great to see you. Shout out to you in Canada, my dear. Shout out to you in London, mate. Nor A, hi, hi. Happy Friday to you, too. Artemis Oracle. Thank you so much, Caitlin B. All right, you guys. I'm going to, oh, Leela, hey, how are you? Hey, Lizzie. All right, you guys, I'm going to bounce on out of here. I will see you guys in some of the zodiacs that we do today and tonight. Also, we've got a single storyline coming up, and I will be doing zodiacs all weekend, just so you guys know. And then on Monday, we'll be going live and doing card pulls for subscribers to say thank you. That'll happen on members corners as well as on both channels. So just so you guys know, that is coming right up. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Lots of love. Ginger. And hang on, Rachel's Magic. Hey, thank you guys. Black Moon Majesty, thank you so much. Hi, Renee. Sorry, I see so many of you. I didn't see. Tammy. Hi, hun. Thank you again, Noble Goddess. And Sarah J. J. Ginger Rich, thank you for being here. All right, everybody. I'll see you again later. Bye for now. Did I miss you up there, Patricia? And Bruce Reed. Hi, Nikki O. Be Your Duffel One. Be You Duffel. Excuse me. Be Your Duffel. That's a cute name too, though. Hi, Ken. Hi, Lily. And thank you, Louise. Johnny the Car Nut. Thanks, guys. Ryan. Hey, hey. Welcome. AC. Wonderful to see you. All right, you guys. I'll see you in just a few minutes for some of the other zodiacs and some of the other videos. All right, bye.